kind of what we call that skill there, it's going to be a little bit kind of difficult for you to, yeah, to to move into another kind of what we call that platform, skill base, whatever that we call them, okay, to develop that kind of understanding there. But it's never too late for you guys to develop, but you have to be more patient and passions at the same time. Let's work on that. Okay? Always put that set in your mind there. And though there is no such thing as an instance kind of way, unless nowadays we have a lot of multiple kind of platform that you guys can use also to develop your design kind of presentations. But without develop your creativity directly, you won't be able to use all those kind of platform that we have right now, like Canva, even the Instagram hot reel, right? TikTok, kind of what we call the applications, or any kind of design-based kind of template there, right? All those kind of things are going to be pointless, useless, if you don't develop your strong foundations to develop your ideas there. Because all those applications that you guys use is only for our executions there. How creative you are going to execute them, and then you're going to improvise them back into your own way. It's all about that, right? It's all about to develop the kind of creativity there, mix them up, and also combine them, all those applications to become your own products there, right? Okay. So when someone asks you in the future there, okay, I just want to remind you guys, because I have this kind of questions a lot. And someone asks you maybe later on, why basically you have to learn 1.5 years, wasting your time, for example, okay, learn about graphic design there. Is there any kind of futures there? Is there any kind of what we call that potential there that you guys can actually work or find some of the job there, right? The point is right now, if you're good at what you do and you promote yourself as a designer, as a person, as a design student, for example, that in the right proper kind of channel, people will come to you instead you came to other people's thing. But of course, we actually can also provide and promote some of the services there, right? Okay, in social media nowadays, you can do your own marketing. You can for free there right now, right? And you can promote yourself more, what we call that, progressively, in the right and the proper way there, okay? You say you can actually provide this kind of service there, okay? Just like this morning, suddenly some of my old friends basically called me, asked me to provide some of those modules to teach young students there, right? Okay, for example there. So when people know, basically when you actually have promote yourself, okay, people will get noticed you, right? Okay, but the thing is, you have to show something there. You have to have that kind of mechanism, platform that you guys use right now, whether you guys going to use Discord. I never actually explored that, right? In Discord right yet. With Hans, there basically any kind of online platform like Facebook there, Instagram there, right? Just promote yourself there and get connection and link with other kind of communities at the same time. I believe that you guys also know how actually you use those kind of social medias, right, in the proper way to work on that, okay? So then, yeah, yes, you can find some of the job from other people theoretically, from companies theoretically, go for internship or whatever that you want. But you can also provide your own personal kind of services at the same time there. So my kind of what we call the objective for these lessons is how actually you can actually develop yourself as a person from a design kind of perspective there, hopefully. So illustration is one of it. It's one of the core fundamental foundations kind of methods that you guys can promote yourself in any other way that you want, right? It doesn't mean that you cannot draw well, you can actually illustrate for other people. So the methods that I'm going to show hopefully can help you guys to engage that kind of understanding and also those what we call it portfolios that you should prepare for yourself. Other than you doing some apps or whatever that we call directly, but use illustration as a core to attract people. Right? Use illustrations as a core to attract people there. Design the symbolic of those design itself is going to be work, but it doesn't mean are going to be the only way you guys can actually promote yourself there. But if you have that kind of a good kind of foundations, or you understand a little bit about those, the power of illustrations there, right? You have more advantage than other people there. Okay? Whether you're going to use some templates kind of design to work on it, but you use those kind of iconic illustrations to work on it directly, it's up to you guys. For example, I want to share with you guys right here, right now. Okay, before that, may I ask you guys, okay, any one of you guys right here doesn't have any tablet yet? Tablet pen, like Wacom tablets. Anyone there? Hmm? How many of you guys? Okay, for example, this one there right there. Okay, this is the one I actually recommend you guys to use. Like if you don't have any tablet like iPad Pro or Samsung Galaxy Tab, okay, whatever they're right. If you use your own laptop or PC, I recommend you guys to find or to get this kind of tablets there. This is very good investments. Okay, the price also is not quite expensive there nowadays. Okay, not only pen, right? Okay, the tablet with pen, right? Okay, so it's quite convenient there, guys. Okay, to get all these kind of tablets for your what we call that, the weapons there, the device that you're going to use basically for your futures there, right? Okay? Yes, of course, right? Okay, Wacom is quite expensive a little bit, but it's quite reliable. But nowadays, Huion also and XP Pen also quite very reliable, right? Okay? The price also is quite cheap. But if you can actually spend your budget with a high kind of what we call it high end, what we call that synthetic kind of tablets, go ahead there, right? Okay, so it's up to you guys, okay, which budget that you want, okay. But this is one of the things that I want to recommend, okay. How many people is there? 4, 5. The rest of you guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is it? So the rest of you guys, okay, right? Tikru is here, Tikru. Are you here, Tikru? Shu Yong is here or not?
Yeah.
You hear it, right? Okay, thank you. Tikru is not here. All right. Well, I want to discuss with you about the group itself, there, right? 7, 8, 9. Okay. But the rest of you guys have the tablet, right? Good. Okay. All right. So I want to discuss about this group A, group B kind of things there, right? That I actually get from Mr. Tegwan there, right? Hmm. Okay, if you use iPad, I yeah, I'm okay if you have those iPad, right? Okay, iPad Pro, and if you can use those iPad Pro, you have the pencil itself, right?
Oh, actually, I'm just asking because uh, I'm still not sure that which one should I buy. Yeah.
Okay, Jashan, right? Okay. Okay, if you want to buy iPad Pro, it's basically quite convenient if you want to make it a mobile kind of works in the future. Okay, my kind of investment, I actually made a very wrong investment, I think a few years back. So now I have a very highly big commitments directly, and I'm planning to buy also iPad Pro and the Apple Pencils directly to use back again for my mobile kind of works illustrations. Okay, so if you have your laptop, for example, to do most of your works, okay, for example, directly, I would recommend you guys to buy the tablet first, right? The standalone kind of tablets that first that can be plugged into your device directly for your laptop directly or your PC there. But if you have a budget directly to buy an iPad Pro, I think below 4K there, right? I think below 4K directly with the pencil itself. So I would recommend you guys to also to get those kind of tablets directly because it's very convenient there for you guys to use a mobile works there. Anyone here actually use Surface Pro, Microsoft Surface Pro? Anyone? Anyone here? Yes or no? Anyone have using Microsoft Surface Pro? If you don't, I'm not recommending you guys to buy them. Okay? No, I'm not recommending you guys. Okay, why? Yes, of course. It's quite expensive, one thing. This is my experience there, I think. I bought basically those, this is basically my kind of wrong investment that I made basically, I think around 5, 6, 7 years ago there, right? Surface Pro is not basically for design work. Simple as that. Okay? Some people say, or some maybe your parents say, okay, oh, buy this Surface Pro because it's quite looks sleek, right? Okay, and quite very, very sleek there, right? It looks design and quite light there, I think. But it's not suitable for you to work as a design kind of what we call that device there, right? Okay, mediums there, machine is not there, right? Please don't buy that. Okay. Anything that actually Microsoft actually recommend, right? Okay, I'm not actually recommend you guys, okay. I'm using basically Acer, what we call that, okay, because I've done basically, they asked me to do some demonstration in 5 days. They commissioned me to work on that, right, on 5 days to demonstrate using the same kind of what we call that device a few years back. And I find the Acer also basically more convenient than basically those Microsoft Surface there, right? But of course, the design also doesn't quite well, and also it's quite very expensive there, I think. So if you want to spend a game machine, kind of what we call that laptops, I would recommend you guys just to buy the normal game machine there, okay? And then you buy the standalone kind of tablets for you to do your kind of design works there. Better there, right? Okay. You spend around 4K for your machine there, right? But tablets like iPad Pro, I really highly recommend you guys to spend to buy them directly because there's a few of my friends also have using iPad. It's quite very convenient there. Even though I'm not actually a Mac user there, right? But when it comes to buy mobile kind of what we call that um, tablets there, right? Okay, I would say iPad is one of the best. Okay, because you guys can use iPad Pro, you guys can use also those vector-based kind of what we call that applications that are okay, just look like an AI, right? And the pencil also has a very smooth kind of we call that kind of uh, maneuvering kind of strokes there that you guys can apply on your drawings there. So it's very good kind of investment if you want to buy those iPad, right? Pro, right, with the pencil itself. Okay, it's up to you guys there, okay? But if you use laptops, highly, what we call it, heavily, you're going to use laptop there, okay? Just bought basically this kind of tablets like this one there, okay? But I spent this one around 1,000 over also there, okay? For this tablets there. Okay, I have also those Cintiq there, okay, but I didn't use anymore there, okay, because there's all kind of Cintiqs. Because the color collaboration were not quite very, what we call that, can be connected as close as the screen on screen there, right? So I'm remaining basically my species in these tablets, okay, at the moment. Then I have a few also tablets that I use. Okay, if you want to buy, basically it's this type of tablet there, right? Okay, small one there, right? Okay, for your laptops at the beginning. If you have less budget there, okay, minimum kind of budget, basically this one also quite convenience there, but this one also quite expensive when I bought before there, right? Around 300 plus there, right here. Okay. Now basically my kids actually using them already. All right. So those are the things again. So half an hour talking about some experience, talking about some of the device there, guys. So let me start with our lessons over here. If you take a look back again, okay, from what actually have been made there before on Monday there, right? Okay, please read basically this what we call that these notes that Miss Vivian actually have made for us there, right? Okay, and check back again those samples that I've made. Okay, I have a few number kind of option for you guys to work with our exercise for this week. All right, and of course the deadline for our exercise, okay, are going to be, okay, week one exercise. All right, the deadline are going to be every week, right? Okay? So for week one, the deadline are going to be Sunday. All right, 23rd, right? January 2022. All right, 12 p.m. Okay, week one exercise. So I'm going to give the deadline every single week for our exercise there first. Because the exercise will not going to take too long for you guys to develop there. Okay, that's one thing. So you will put inside these folders, week one to week four folders there, okay? So hopefully you guys can present it really well on your presentation for the 10% of your exercise there, okay? Those are the things there. All right. So the points are going to be around a 10% of hundreds there. Even though it's not going to be, it's a very small amount of those marks there, I think. But I'm going to what we call that, remind you guys. Okay, these exercise are basically very important because if you actually doing quite well for these 4 weeks kind of exercise, okay, there's a chances this exercise might going to be help you to add on with your marks later on if you're not doing really well for your assignments. It will help you, all right? Because I'm going to go through also those kind of exercise. If I see basically you have that kind of skills that can be provided on those exercise that can be add into your assignments marks there, okay? not for your assignments there, but can be topped up back again to your assignments there. I will basically going to use that kind of improvisations of those way of evaluating your kind of final kind of marks there, right? Understand what I mean, guys? That means you have to do it well also on your first 4 week exercise here. Just to let you know, basically, you really understand about what you're going to do, and some people can do it well. You just push yourself from there. Okay, just push yourself from there. All right, but of course, this one first week exercise, there's nothing much for us to do there, right? Okay? It's only just to test the brushes, just to test basically your skills, how to use those kind of tablets there, right? Okay? But if your sim doesn't have those kind of tablets, you still can using basically mouse to draw at the same time there. This one I'm using mouse there, guys, okay, to draw. Okay, this mouse there. Okay, so I'm showing you guys back again how to develop this exercise in order to develop also your understanding how to apply some of the general and also some effect brushes for your works in the future. Okay, are you guys ready? Yes or no? Y or N directly put on the chat box. Any questions before we go to start? Any questions? Any kind of inquiries? Any kind of confusions? You may ask me there. Hmm? Okay. So, okay, I want to demonstrate a little bit, okay? First of all, okay, you just create this six kind of shapes there, okay? So I'm going to do it back again. Just for you guys there. Open up new files. Okay, the summations of these files are going to be around. You guys can see my screen sharing there, right? Just add new layers there. All right. When I open up new files over here, I'm setting my files around 11 by 8 inch in A4 size. Okay, this is the one that you have to remember there, okay? Our maximum kind of resolutions are going to be around 300, right? But minimum resolution that I always use, okay, to conduct my classes, my kind of demonstrations, my kind of samples are around 150% there, right? Okay, pixel per inch there. Okay, so that's basically minimum size there, minimum resolutions there, guys. Okay, so remember that. Why actually I'm using that minimum resolutions? Because I want to speed up my kind of demonstrations, my kind of what we call that time, and also to speed up basically my explorations. If you use high resolutions for this exercise, for our assignment, for example, there again, it's quite very good for you to use for your proper professional kind of methods lah. Okay, but the problem is you have to know one thing, the right thing. Even though we can practice professionally how to apply this kind of format, but I'm always focusing on your understanding there. Okay, this is basically for my personal kind of what we call that suggestions there only there, right? Okay, don't apply basically on your real kind of works, because I will have to become more practical for the student to understand all this technical kind of stuff, because you're not doing basically this job basically for your clients there, for your real clients there. You do it for me, for the assignment, for our session and lessons there. I think one of the most important things that I want you guys to achieve is your understandable how to conduct, develop your skills, especially your visualizations kind of skills. The technical kind of aspect, like the format itself, as long as you use the right kind of size and you use the minimum kind of resolutions, they will going to be fine for me. Unless you're using 720 dpi lah, and also the size is going to be quite small than A4 size, then you have to be aware of that. You have to change, right? Okay. So at this stage, I believe that you don't have that kind of issues of understanding how to apply the right kind of format for your works. Okay, hopefully that. If there are any kind of what we call that confusions, right? Okay, please ask me back again. Okay, don't hesitate to ask me that. Okay, just ask me that. Okay, works. Okay, now the thing that we're going to do right now, okay, I'm going to use my tablets over here to work. Always add new layers. Okay, I'm going to use these elite tools. I'm going to click shift, okay, for my circles there. All right, where basically my this one there, right? My virtual kind of keyboard there, right? Okay. Normally I'm going to click shift there, guys, okay, to get a perfect kind of circle there. That's basically one of the basic things there, right? So after that, I'm going to conduct basically, right? Okay, I'm going to select basically the colors there. We are going to use grayscale kind of tone there first, there, guys. Backspace, alternate, alt key, backspace to fill the colors there. I'm going to use a lot of shortcut key there, okay, on my left hand to work on that. Alternate, backspace there, okay, backspace here. Click alternate, click backspace for shortcut key there, okay. Or fill up the colors. If you're using grayscale kind of tone in this fill box colors on the top there, right? Okay. The white colors, control, backspace. Okay. On the fill box over here, on the left side. Okay. That's basically some basics kind of key that you should understand. Other than control C, control V for copy and paste, X for basically for cut there, right? Okay. What else? There's control A to do some selections. All, select all there, right? Okay. What else there? L basically for lasso tools. M for the mark tools, there, shapes tools there, right? B for brushes. Okay, B for brushes, there, shortcut key here. Okay, that we are going to use a lot there, right? What else that we can do? Okay, magnifying kind of shape zoom tools there, control, control basically space bar to zoom in, control alternate and space bar to zoom out. Okay, all this kind of simple shortcut key there. Okay, hopefully you guys have recognized there. Okay, I'm not basically good at it there, right? Okay, or really good there. Okay, just speed up. Okay, but I'm using basically most of those important kind of tools there to help me to make a little bit more faster kind of works there, right? Okay, to try to get used to it. So don't forget to save your files at the same time there, okay? Whenever that you're going to use to work on this, okay, on these applications there. So when Control D to these selections there, okay, Control B is not there, okay? To end the selections, I'm going to click Control and D there, okay? Okay. So all this kind of shortcut key will get your works a bit more faster, right? Now what I can do, Control alternate to duplicate there. Okay, and I click Shift to make sure I get the right kind of positions there, right? Huh? Okay. Oops. Okay. So I'm not that quite particular kind of what we call it accuracy all the times there. So I just be a more casual that it works with my kind of way of working over here. Okay, select the layers. Okay, you can rename your layers if you want to. You can put some folders if you want to. You can arrange them whatever that you want there, right? Okay. So when I have done this some kind of selections like this, okay, in order to understand about how to use that kind of particular kind of brush, we have to use a lot of brushes, right? Okay. One of the brushes that I always use basically to develop my drawings are going to be these Carl Ultimate Ink thin brushes there. Okay, this one there, right? In wet media brushes. If you can find this brush also in iPad Pro, Procreate, or Clip Studio Paint there, right? Okay, or any kind of what we call that applications, go ahead there, guys. But in Photoshop, try to find these wet media brushes, Carl Ultimate Ink thin, thick and thin brushes there. I think I already put it on my samples over here there, right? Carl Ultimate Pastel, Carl Ultimate, where is it right here? In from here there, right here. Is there any samples? Oh, this one have, but I didn't put basically on my samples there, okay? So I'm going to add later on there, right? Okay, now for drawing only there, right? Okay, like that thing. Okay, this is for drawings there. But I don't want you guys just to exploring basically the shapes like these, the drawing brush like this there. There is no point there. They're pointless there, guys, okay? But of course, okay, when I actually draw, I can actually get also those, what we call that, those quality of line that I want, okay, that I want. Okay. When you use those tablets, make sure you install the drivers before you're going to draw them, okay? But this is not the reason why we use this exercise over here. One of the reason I use this, I applying this exercise for you guys, I want you guys to understand about how to develop basically the structures of light and shadows to form basically the dimensions of the shapes from the circle into sphere there, right? Okay, one thing. The second thing is I want to test you guys whether you know how to handling the brushes to shape them up in the right way. To study basically back again the light and shadow, the form, structures, brushes, pressure, tone that you actually have done before traditionally using those kind of charcoal or pencil kind of drawings there before there. Okay. So what I can do right here, we have to do some selections there first. Okay. After that, I want you guys to use the general brushes there. Okay. One of the popular brushes that I'm going to use are going to be a soft pressure brushes there, right? Soft round pressure brushes there. Any of these one there, right? Okay. So I'm going to use these soft round brushes there first. And of course, you cannot use this size lah. Please don't draw like this one there, right? Okay, please there. Why? Because some students, I'll saw there, right? Okay, they just simply draw without thinking there, right? Come on, guys. Think before you draw there, right? Okay. So in order to get that kind of effects, you have to increase the size there. This is a bracket there, right? Okay, I think. Okay. Adjust the size of the bracket there, okay? The left side, the close bracket kind of key is to change the size there. See? When you have changed the size, then you actually can paint, right? But before you're going to paint like this there, okay? Oops. Because the color is too dark there, okay? What you can do, you need to change with the flow. See, the flow is at 80% there, right? Change into around maybe 10%. But it's all up to you guys, okay? Check the pressures back again. And when you paint, don't press too much like this one there, right? Huh? Press like this one there. No, there, okay? Use the flow and also the structures and where basically the directions of light that you're going to conduct itself there. If you see what happens, right, okay? The light came from the left side, top right, top left of these shapes, for examples there, right? Can you see here? I will do some indications later on. Then the shadows are going to be fall off where? Where is it there, right? If the light came from this left top side of these shapes, where the shadow are going to be fall off? Can anyone answer me there, right? Where basically? Come on, guys. You understand what I mean over here? Where the shadow going to be fall off there, right? Anyone can answer me there, right? Do you know? Where the shadow are going to be fall off? If this, basically those light came from this side there, right? Draw that for you guys. Okay, if the light came from this side, let me erase there. Okay, this is basically the directions of light there, right? Okay. So let us say the light came from this side. There. Okay, the directions of light there, right? Okay. Where the shadows are going to be fall off? Where basically there, right? Hmm. Right bottom there, right? Okay, bottom right. Okay. So the directions of those shadows are going to fall off right here. But when you want to draw them there, right? Or you want to shape them up, you want to shape like this. Oops. When you want to paint like this or like this. Which one there, right? Number 2 or number 1 there, right? Which one there? 1 or 2 there, okay? The way that you're going to shape, move the stroke there, okay? How is it? Or like this there. Okay. Or like this there, okay? Number 4. The way that you're going to move those shapes there, the strokes there, right? How is it? 1, 2, 3, or 4 there, okay? The way you move your brushes there. How is it? Which one there? Can someone answer me there, right? Okay, number 2. Okay, why? Why number 2 there, right? So I'm going to show you guys there, okay, how it works over here. If I'm going to paint or shades there, right, okay, using this soft brushes over here, it just flows a little bit. I'm using 10%, but it doesn't mean that you just fix them up into 10% only. Okay? It's all depend on your way of to controlling your pressures. So I adjust the size. Okay, which size convenience then? How actually going to cover the whole areas, right? Okay. Now, and let's just say I'm going to paint like this one there, right? Okay? Okay, for example, like this. Are this going to be look right? It's going to be quite weird there, right? Okay. The way that we can control the shape itself there, okay? Because this shape is going to be in circles there. So if you paint like this one, for example, okay, number 4, right? Okay, number 4, kind of what we call the way of paint. Is it going to be right? No. Why? It doesn't show any kind of dimensions of those shapes there. Become a sphere there, okay? Let's just say I'm going to paint like this one, just now. Okay, let's just see this one there, right? like this one. Is it going to be right? Number 3 there, right? No, right? It's quite weird a bit. So if I put into the number 2 kind of what we call the flows there, okay, or directions of the flows there. You take a look here, guys. The way that I move my hands there, right? Circles there, right? Okay. They will show it, and I change the size to get a bit more kind of tone of those shadows there, okay, according to those directions of those light. So spontaneous, naturally, basically, okay, I'm going to use this highlight a little bit over here. See, highlight over here because the directions of light came from here, there, right? And don't press too much there. Just control the pressures at the same time that works on that. Okay. If you zoom out a little bit, Control D, you can see the whole dimensions there, right, okay, of these brushes. That's basically the thing that we want. And of course, in those kind of light and shadows kind of studies, every single shades that you actually paint, there always some reflections light on the bottom itself there. Okay. Sometimes they become heavily in the very dark kind of tone there, okay? But not all the times. Remember that. Okay. Sometimes we actually can add a bit more tone over here, but not too much there. Okay. And of course, there's a few number kind of level of tone that you guys can actually what we call that paint and shades along the way. Okay. That's the reason why we use this kind of general brushes tools, so that you can see the dimension of those three-dimensional kind of illusions into the kind of platforms there. Right? And from here, the shadows, the cast shadows are going to fall off at the bottom there, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to paint slowly like this one there, okay? With these directions there. You see that, right? Why I'm using flows? Because I can control the pressures more better there. Right? Click Shift. You're going to have a very steady, what we call that, fixed kind of what we call that movements there. You see? We create some illusion of those. Illusion of this sphere there, right? Okay? You see that? Simple kind of exercise, guys. I want you guys to develop this kind of exercise, a few number kind of directions of light, shadows there, to work on it. At the same time, experiment also with the brushes there. Okay? Simple kind of exercise, because this kind of methods you're going to use a lot later on when you want to paint your characters, your subject matters there, your elements there, according to the structures, the form, the shapes of your subject matters there. We don't paint simply like this one there, guys, okay? Or for example, like this one, the circles there, right? Paint like this one there, right? Okay. If you seem to use this kind of methods for your exercise, I just give only 1 per 10 there, right? Okay? For example, like that, for your marks there. Okay, let's just say I'm using basically a mouse there to work on it. Okay, the directions of light I change from this side into a top there, okay? Directions there. So the form, okay, using mouse will be kind of difficult there. So basically, are going to be look like this. Okay, from those directions there, right? Okay. Using mouse also we can apply that, guys, okay, but it's quite difficult a bit, okay? See? Just the size a little bit, get it right. Okay. quite difficult with that. Okay? I'm not saying it's quite easy there. Okay? No. Okay. Just playing around with it, and then what else that we can do? Make sure the directions of those form when you flow it in those shapes are going to be right. And then, okay, the shadow can fall off right here, right? It's hard basically, right, to paint using basically this mouse. Oops, too much. It's just the size of the bit to engage with those kind of tone there, right? Okay. This one I'm using mouse there. As long as you can get the right kind of way to develop that kind of understanding when you want to paint at the first phase, right now, is very good kind of progression that you have. Okay, and of course, when using mouse, there are going to be a lot of limitations, right? Especially the guys. Okay, when you want to start to paint using other than this kind of brushes there, like let's say you are going to use these hard round brushes, okay, hard round brushes like this. You want to adjust the flows, I think around 1% there, right? Okay, and paint. Okay, hard round brushes, they're normally the guys, okay? I will paint in different directions. Okay, let's just say the directions are going to be around, okay, this side, okay, the lighting came from this side, bottom right, and the shadows are going to fall off right here, okay? So using basically this, I'm using mouse, using what we call that, I'm using basically tablets there, okay, pen tablets to work there. So hard round brushes there, this one, hard round brushes. Basically, a lot of digital artists used to paint using this kind of methods there, okay, to get that kind of very painterly kind of effects there, right? Okay. They have basically this rough kind of look and feel there. And most of the digital artists love to use this one there, I think. We do some rough kind of paint there. Okay. Using these hard round brushes there, right? Okay. And of course, from this part there, normally sometimes the shadows are going to be fall off a little bit right here and there, right? Okay. Using those imaginations, but also your knowledge at the same time that works. Okay. Leave the reflection slide over here all the time, okay? To check basically right, the dimension itself there. So this is basically the exercise for this week there, okay? You can experiment also with different kind of multiple brushes if you use those tablets if you want to, right? Okay? Let's just say you want to use these pastels, charcoal brushes there, right? Okay? Carl Ultimate charcoals there, okay, to work on that. For example, like this. And then, of course, adjust the flow there first because otherwise you're going to be a little bit more heavy like this one. Don't actually just experiment like this one there, guys, okay? The pointless there, okay, way to change the flows. Then I'm starting to experiment with these brushes there. Don't just paint like this one there, guys, huh? Please don't paint like this one there. What's the point? Basically, you experiment like this one, okay? If you cannot control the pressure, we need to learn to control the pressures at the same time over here. That's the reason why we use these brushes there, right? Okay? That's why we use these brushes there. Experiment with these brushes, strokes there, right? Okay? Yeah, right. And of course, okay, when I use basically these pencil brushes like this one, most of the times, right, I want to basically get the right kind of etching kind of strokes there, right? See? Can you see the right thing? etching kind of strokes there. Yeah. But you have to use also those, okay, like ink and pen brushes. Okay. I want to have that kind of etching kind of line works there, right? Okay. Using the right kind of directions at the same times to work on that. Just playing around with it. Okay, this one there, right? Just playing around with it there. Control the pressures at the same time there to work on that. Right? Okay. Playing around with it. All right. Play with those kind of drawings there, okay? Okay, for the shadows itself, okay, we still can use the shadows line, like this one there, see? But using different kind of tone there, right? Different kind of strokes and tone there at the same time. You actually control the pressures there, right? But you can use also pencil brushes for these methods that you use. Okay, that's basically the reason why basically we use these brushes. Okay, this one I'm using, right, Carl Ultimate Ink brushes there, right? Okay, I'm using also basically pencil brushes there, pencil hard brushes for dry media. Okay, pencil hard brushes, if you take a look those effects there, right? This one there, right? See, it's good for you to draw those eyebrows, the hairline there, right? Okay, when you draw them. The flows I maintain around 38% there, right? You can sketch it out there first. This is basically one of the most important thing about your methods and techniques there when you draw. We are not actually hesitate when you draw, but we try to get a very constructive kind of line there, okay? To draw there, okay? Practice your hands to draw something like this. Okay? All right? That's the thing there, okay? Using those pencil brushes there. And I'm using also just now using what? I'm using Ultimate charcoals there, right? Charcoal pencils there. This one. Oops, where is it? I'm using basically Ultimate charcoal there, right? Brushes there. Okay, this one I'm using hot round. Hot round pressure brushes there, right? Yeah, pressures there, right? Opacities. Okay, this one basically I'm using soft round brushes there. Okay. So experiment with those brushes there, guys, okay, to work on that. After you get all this kind of what we call that methods of brushes there, you're doing in the right way, that works on that. So the next thing that I want you guys to do there, okay, this is basically our week 1 exercise number 1 there, right? Okay. Okay, any questions about this exercise over here? No? Any questions? Any kind of inquiries about this exercise there, guys? It's really important for you to know how to use these brushes in the right way there, right? Okay, to work on that. So I'm using only general brushes that works. Any questions then? No? It's not limited there, okay? You hang there, right? Okay. But you have to use the proper brushes lah for you to paint. Okay, for you to paint, especially to get the right kind of dimension and form itself. Right? Yes, of course you can there, right? Okay. Before we're going to continue the writing, anyone have used these tablets there before? You hang there. Can you demonstrate for me right now? If you have your tablet with you, can you share your screen first? Only one shapes that I want to see how actually you paint it up before I'm going to continue with our second exercise for this week there. Can you share your screen there, Yihang?
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much there, Yihang. Just I want to let everyone know that, okay, whether you guys understand or not how it works there. Okay.
Very wrong card.
It's okay. It's a new one there, okay? You can actually write this with shape there, okay, the colors there. You can just kind of fill in the colors later on. Okay. No outline, right?
Yeah.
The shape doesn't have an outline, right? Okay, good. These ellipse tools, you have to
Yeah.
convert into shapes there, rasterize them back again. Rasterize, can you rasterize them? Okay. And do some selections there. Make some selections there first. Just click to
select.
those. Just click to those thumbnail box layers there. Thumbnail box there, right? On the layers. Go to the layers there. Thumbnail box there, right? The small boxes there. Right click. Select pixels there, right? Okay. You can actually click
Use the
control.
magic one too also can, right?
Yeah?
Right.
Yeah, can.
Okay.
Okay, now choose the brushes. Adjust the flow. Change the flows at the same times. Okay. Okay, good. Change the flows. Not the size there first, the flows there.
Rose.
On top of the menus there, right? Okay. On top of the menus, we have opacities, flow, smoothing there, right? On top of the menu there, right? Okay. Not that one there, right? Okay. The size you can change later on. The flows there first, not that one there, right? On top of the menu there, right? Okay. Top there, right? Okay. In the middles there, not that one there, right? Okay.
This one.
Go in the middles there, middle there, right? Okay. Top in the middles there, not that one there, right?
Top of the
Behind there,
menu.
okay? On top of the layers there, on top, not the layers there, on top of the menus there, okay? There's a flows there, okay? In the middles there, right? Not that one there, right?
Rose. Layers
Go
or
right side there, okay? Go into the middle of the screen there. Middle of your screen there, okay? Middle of your screen.
middle
Not on the
of my
layers,
screen.
okay? Middle of the screen, on top of it, you can see the flows.
Oh.
Right. They change the flows. I think around 10% they may be there, okay, first. But you guys can experiment those kind of percentage there, guys, okay? Up to you guys that you work. Okay? And then you can change the size of your brushes there.
Okay.
Okay, use those bracket there, okay? Close bracket size on the keyboard just to change quickly there, okay? The size. Don't be afraid to change the size, okay? As big as you want there, okay? But not too big there, okay? around 250, maybe 350, the size there, before you're going to paint.
250.
Up to you there, okay? Make the size okay, a bit more bigger there, okay? A little bit more bigger there, right? How much resolution that you use for your
150.
150, right? Okay. Change more the size there, right? The brushes there. The brush size has to be a bit more bigger if you want to shade them up using the soft brushes. Because the surface, the area that you're going to paint are going to be a bit bigger there, right? More bigger there, right? Huh? Okay, now try to paint according to the lighting directions that you have fixed for your shapes. Where is it basically, right? On left side, top there, right? Okay. Now start to paint with the right kind of flow. Sure. Where basically the lighting there, right?
And the
Right
top.
side there, right? Left side.
Left top.
Okay. How actually you paint? Okay. Don't press too much there. Look back again. The directions, the flows, the positions at the same time, okay? Don't forget, basically, use any reference that you can to guide you at the same time there, okay? To work on that when you paint. Okay, these methods basically looks quite easy there, okay? But it's not that easy if you don't develop that kind of understanding traditionally when you're going to paint or shade some of the object there, right? Okay, remember that. Okay, good you hung, good you hung there, okay? Okay, that's basically one of the basics kind of things that you need to understand, each one of you guys who want to paint. Okay, practice a bit more, spend more times. Don't just simply there, okay? Don't put in your mindset, okay, just simply do it, okay, because it's easy kind of exercise. No, there, guys, okay? Once you basically take for granted with what you learn fundamentally in the first phase of your exercise, that's when basically you're going to make a lot of mistakes in the futures there without you knowing there, okay? Because you're not actually take seriously on your own kind of understanding when you develop your skills, okay? So thank you, Yihang, there, okay, for your time to demonstrate over here. Practice a bit more. You're doing
Yeah,
good.
sir. Thank
Okay,
you.
you're
Thank
doing
you,
good
sir.
there. But practice more there, okay? It's look quite easy. Sometimes, okay, 6 panels, 6 kind of shapes is not enough for you to practice. Just practice more from there. Okay? Okay, don't take for granted there. Okay, those are basically the things I have to remind you guys. Igru is not here, right? So I guess,
Yes, sir.
yeah, you're here. Igru.
Yeah.
Okay, make sure you inform me there, okay, later on. Okay, guys, for our future classes, if you came late, whatever it is, okay, just let me know there, right, okay? Because I have to double check your attendance over here. All right, we take 5 first. We can take 5, huh? No, cannot, right? I want to speed up basically back again. My demos over here. If you don't inform me there's some time, I might going to forget about your attendance. All right, now, okay, to speed up a bit. Okay, on our lessons over here, okay, the size are going to be, still are going to be in A4 size. I'm using landscape format there, right, okay? So I want you guys to find some of those subject matters there, right, okay? Some objects, subject matters that you can. Okay, let's just say I'm using these these pear kind of fruits there, okay, to work with that. If you want to paint this pear there, okay, there's a lot of way for you guys to work. You guys can draw them there, okay? You guys can draw them there. But if you still want to sketch them, okay, in your own kind of methods of skills, please don't sketch like this. Guys, please, if you use your tablet, don't draw like this one there, okay? This is the wrong way for you guys to draw or using those tablets there, okay? Please don't draw like this one, okay? This is not the right way to draw. Okay, either basically, right, okay, you can actually duplicate, adjust the size, okay, like this one, and then you reduce the opacities. And the reason why you use this reference, you guys can draw back again. See, this is the way that you draw there, right? You see there, right? I'm not hesitate, but I'm using my drawing skills to draw the subject matters there. You see, there's a reason that there's a difference between you tracing and draw. This is basically the reason why we use these tablets there. I want you guys to learn to use this tablet there. You can see the quality of line that I produce right now. Okay. This is not tracing, guys. This is drawing on top of the layers. Okay. All right. Mr. Teguan just informed me directly just now. Okay. Asked me directly whether you guys are going to be come back to physical class later on week 5, or any one of you guys still going to remain with online classes? Anyone? One of the reasons I'm using this etching kind of line, sketching kind of line directly, the directions of light came from this side there. Because Mr. Tegot actually informed me directly, because the COVID we still live in these eras of this COVID directly. So any one of you guys want to have that kind of what we call the physical classes, or you want to remain online classes there, please let me know there, right? Class reps, who actually a class reps over here? Okay, take a look there, guys. Okay, take a look at what we call that, the line works that I produced right now. Along the way, we discuss about our how is it there, guys? In week 5, are you still want to continue with online classes, or how many of you guys are going to continue with online classes, or how many of you guys are going to be join our face-to-face sessions there after week 5, okay, on week 5 until week 14? Anyone who are going to join from your groups? Please basically put in the chat box over here. Yes or no there, okay, for face-to-face sessions. Right? Please let me know. Please let me know directly, because I'm going to come back to those campus there. But if you want to remain, okay, if you take a look right now, if you want to remain online sessions, please let me know also there, okay, because I have to go to campus there, because I'm going to basically test some of those what we call that facilities back again after 2 years, right? Okay, I haven't go back to the campus. I want to test basically those facilities there. So guys, okay, one of the reason we use these tablets because we can get this kind of drawing stroke like this one. Okay, this kind of drawing strokes there. This is one of the reason why we use these tablets here. You guys can actually use this kind of opportunities and also advantage to draw just like the drawings kind of strokes using those traditional kind of medias, but using digitals there. Okay, you can actually get the right kind of quality of line at the same time that you work on that. This is one of the reasons why we use these tablets there to work there, right? Okay, one of the things there. And the other thing is, right, if you seem to use what we call that, if she seems to use basically, okay, I'm using magic wand tools. If you seem to use basically the shapes of it there, right, to paint the shapes there, right, see, in grayscale kind of tool. Okay, what you can do from here, okay, see the directions of light, the shapes, the structures there of these what we call the subject matters there. Do some selections like this, brush tools. If you use the soft brushes, round soft brushes, as we used that before there, right? So what you can do from here, I can start to paint. Okay, when I start to paint, I didn't paint like this. Okay? Using the light and shadows that we saw from these fruits, see the way I paint it, right? You see that the way I move my basically the shapes of the strokes of the shadings there. See? So look carefully when I paint it, guys. Draw using those circle kind of lines there. See? Practice the way that you're using those brushes there, right? That's basically one of the most important thing that we're going to do right here. Guys, how about those the face-to-face sessions there? Are you going to come back to school, to campus in week 5? Are you going to remain online? How many of you guys are going to remain online? How many of you guys will come back to school there? Please let me know there, right? I change the size frequently, and I'm going to change, also I'm going to add basically that kind of highlight there, right, at the same time there. Okay. So this part, basically I have to delete a bit there, right? If this is a negative space, there. So basically you get this kind of shadings of shapes there, right? How many of you guys were going to be here? Cool. How many there already? Please let me know over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to be conducted already the same sessions in school, in our lab already, hopefully. And anyone who actually going to remain, Zken are going to be online there, right? Anyone are going to be online there? Please let me know there, right? Or if you're not sure there, okay, it's okay, because I think the lab are not going to be full around 20 or 19 students there, right? Okay. The maximum in our lab around 12 to 13 students only. Okay, 12 to 13 students only. Okay, 12 to 13 students there, right? Okay, in one sessions in our lab there, right? Okay, if you want to change your groups, for example, A to B there, for example, there, right? Just let Mr. Tan Teck Guan know there, right? Okay, you just have to inform him there, okay? All right. Okay. So basically, that's the things that, okay, that's the catch there, okay? You only can get around 12 to 13 there, okay? That means you guys have around 21 students, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, around 6 to 7 students. I might not going to be joined there, okay? The sessions in face-to-face there. But I think it's going to be flexible, so okay? As long we can actually have the proper kind of SOP that we can from there. Okay, guys? All right. So basically, okay, what we're going to do right now, try not to draw a complicated kind of shapes, right? Okay? Draw fruits, for example, there, right? Okay? Or any kind of shape that you can actually play around with those kind of structures there. If from here, one of the techniques that I can share with you guys also, when I add another layers there, right? I can use multiply. Then I can actually use eyedroppers to get the right kind of colors. Then what I can do from here, do some selections back again, but not at the layers that I want there, right? Use brushes. Okay, this multiply kind of method is like an old school of way of paint. Then I can paint. Okay. But I'm not actually have those attentions to paint. Okay. Just like using those natural kind of look and feel. Okay. I can mix them up there, guys. Okay. I don't have those attentions to paint like a traditional kind of way. But this is basically some old tricks how to get to understand how to use those kind of brushes there and use the tablets at the same time there. Okay, that's how it looks like. Okay, I'm using different kind of colors there to work. See. If you're looking for get a natural kind of looks there, okay, I'm not focusing on that at the moment. Okay, I'm focusing on the methods how you're going to be paint there, right? See. Let's just say you have this kind of colors there, right? Okay, see. You always can actually reduce the opacities there, see, on those layer 3. It works on that. So either way around, you guys can actually playing around with this kind of methods there. So what I can do, paint more over here for the shadows. We're not looking for a realistic kind of look there, guys, okay? I'm not actually looking at that, right? Just want to paint in the right way to get the right kind of flows there. Okay. All right. Some of the textures you want to playing around later on. Okay, this one, okay, there's a text there, right? What you can do, Control D. I can do this kind of selections like this there, right? Okay, selections, copy and paste, see? And then I can actually write multiply there, see? Multiply there, right? And reduce opacities at the same time. This part, basically, I can actually use the lasso tools as the shadows. Take a look closely to your subject matters all the time there, right? Okay? Okay. Then copy and paste, multiply there, see? Right. Anyone basically there, right? Have any questions? You guys can see the screen there, right? Do you have any questions on the methods itself? You guys can mix around there, okay? If you take a look closely on these methods, like I using different kind of brushes that you paint, okay? A lot of way basically we can do there, okay, to develop that kind of understanding there, guys, okay? There's basically some reflections of those water drops over here, okay? If I want to paint like this one there, for example, there, right? Copy and paste, see? I can do some selections a little bit, like here. Brushes back again, just to paint this side a bit there, right, like this. Adjust a little bit there. All right. And then what else I can do from here? Do some selection, step back again. Okay, paint this part there, right? So a lot of things that we have to do, like you can actually playing around with it if you want to there, right? So it's a matter of how actually going to apply them back and work with it to develop that kind of understanding at the same time there, guys. Huh? Okay, just have fun to work on it. Have fun with it. Okay, playing around with the right kind of brushes. Okay, one of the methods that I always use, guys. Okay, either other than using basically a proper kind of what we call that natural kind of looks or paint styles, I'm going to use purple for some of the shadows line. Okay? Other than use the natural kind of colors there for my paint styles there, right? Okay, that. That's basically what I always do. Okay, highlight a little bit, highlight a little bit there. All right, that works on that. Adjust the size all the time there, okay? Yeah. There's a few number kind of trick also that I will apply on your side there, okay? One of the thing is, for examples, let's just say I have some texture brushes there, right? Okay. Right. I just want to share with you guys a bit there, okay? Some of the methods I always use there. There is it. Then these texture brushes like this one there, right? Texture brushes. I select this one, select all, copy, do some selections there first. All right, do some selections there first. Then I'm going to go to paste special, paste into there, okay? See the texture brushes over here? There. You see the right, the texture brushes there, right? So very interesting there, okay, these techniques there. You don't have to do a lot of things to get the textures right. But of course, right, okay, I'm using basically these free form kind of textures there, right? Okay? They have that kind of mixtures on that. It's okay. See? So that's a good thing about those Photoshop there, okay, or digitals there. You guys can actually mix around with the tactics that is good for you, especially there, okay, to develop that kind of methods of working. I can adjust basically the levels if I want to here. Okay, right. All right. What are the things that I can do there from here? Okay. We create some illusions there, guys, basically. All right. So hue saturations. All right, adjust the colors there in the proper kind of way. Okay, gray tones a little bit. Adjust there. Okay. Up to you guys, okay, how it works. All right. So have fun with it there. So exploring those kind of methods like that. What are the things there? Okay, the background itself. If I choose this background there, okay, to works on it. So what I can do from here. So I'm going to paint. Okay, the backgrounds there first. Okay. Basically there, okay, if you saw right now, I can actually, just now actually I do a very shortcut way there, okay, of this shadowing there, okay. So what I can do, I need to erase this part there first. Okay, this part basically there. Oops, too much there. Okay. Some of the part there, right, that were not quite very important for me to use there, right. Okay, there. So what I can do right here, I can use this purple kind of shadows there to paint. Oops, brushes, paint the shadows in purple kind of shades there. Why we use purples? Because shadows is not black there, right? Remember that shadow is not black. It came from different kind of tone of colors there. Okay. So if I want to blend it up, I can use these purples back again to blend with the shadows there. Now I can use also some highlights over here, right, to have a backlight there, okay, effects. Okay, for these subject matters here. I can use also these hot round pressure brushes here. Reduce the opacity a bit to have the backlight kind of effect there. Okay. Okay. Right. To give more presentables on my works there, right? Okay. Okay. Multiply the backgrounds there, right? I will record at the layers itself. Yeah. It works on it. Okay. Just present it well there, guys. Okay. So we're talking about the right kind of presentations to use the right kind of brushes that you work. Okay, any questions so far? These are going to be the second exercise that we need to do experiment this week. Any questions there so far there, guys? Right, 19, 22. This is exercise number 2. Week 1 there. Okay, simple exercise there, right? But they need a little bit kind of efforts there for you guys to work, and you can combine also some mixes of the brushes if you want to. So along the way, we're going to have a lot of way to develop that kind of what we call it styles to work with those brushes there. Okay.
So
Yes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
For that kind of white circle effect can present as a brush, right? For if
Yes.
future need to use for the
Yeah, can.
effect.
Yeah, can. Just experiment then, right? Okay? Just to get the different kind of feels. Okay. I just show you guys the technique, some of the foundations kind of technique that I actually use for my professional works. Okay, you guys can use also the right to work on that. For example, there guys, okay, how actually I draw my the other half there, okay, kind of drawings there, okay, that I made for her to see before. Where is it? Right? I'm using basics for this because you might going to use them for your assignments there later on, right? Okay, just to present it well. Where is it? Okay, this one. Okay, can you see there? Okay, when I actually do this kind of what we call the brushes, so here, right? This one there. Okay, so I'm using all these kind of mixtures of these brushes there to works. Okay, see, it to get a more presentable kind of look and feel there. Okay, that's the things that guys. Okay, so you guys can do all those kind of things later on also for your works. Okay, which is are going to be good kind of what we call that practice when it comes to execute and give your services later on for your clients there. Okay, because we don't have to draw everything in details, we focus on the subject matters and we emphasize on those subject matters there without worrying too much on what kind of background that we're going to use there. Okay, but even though you're going to use a lot of multiple kind of backgrounds there, okay, you guys can execute using different kind of techniques there, okay, like photo manipulations there, right? Okay, for examples, okay, I don't know whether I have right here or not with you guys, okay, with my kind of samples or not. But if you take a look back again, okay, let me share basically with you guys. Because all these methods is going, most of the techniques that I'm going to introduce to you guys were going to be useful when you want to produce your own kind of work there. It's not just simply I just using only for the sake of this, technically just to show you guys some of the way of methods there, right? For example, like this character design that I made there, right? Okay, I use a few number kind of methods also to develop that kind of texturings there, right? Okay, combined with some lasso tools for the shadows there to works. Okay, get mixed up with what we call that, because we don't have to do a lot of hard work on those background there guys sometimes to present it in our works there. It's a trickster, okay, like this one, okay, like my daughter's kind of what we call that caricatures there, right? Okay, that I made. The backgrounds look a bit more blurry effects with the clouds there. Huh? The clouds that using lasso tools there, okay, to work. So we kind of have a smart way to presenting the work properly. Okay, those are the things there. Other than like this one, basically that I made that before, I use a lot of textures also for my works. The background I'm using a lot of textures, some image manipulations, kind of background with buildings there, okay. All this kind of thing is a tricks there, guys. Okay, just to give some illusions, okay, for your presentations. And people, we saw that you actually have done a lot of work that by basically you play tricks on those illusions to show people that I can do those background, but I'm not actually trying to add a lot of efforts or details there. But in a matter of how creative you guys can work on that there, right? Okay. So that's basically the point, how actually you're going to mix up those kind of understanding and ideas at the same time. And of course, okay, with this kind of methods, okay, when I use a lot of texture brushes, normally, okay, I can actually playing around with those kind of textures, look a little bit more like a depth of fields, but at the same time, I try to focus on the main kind of elements there, okay, for the whole compositions, okay, for the whole compositions there. So we play tricks a lot, guys, okay, with those visuals there. I don't have to draw the whole forest, but it shows basically the ambience, the look and feel of those forests there, okay, of those forests there, okay, when I draw that, right, okay, when I visualize that. Looks quite complex, looks quite detailed, but it's not, okay. Then and we can actually focus more on emphasizing more on those elements that you want to focus the importance there, okay. That's basically the techniques of photographic cinematics a little bit and combine with some illustrations kind of composition at the same time. Okay, so learn from there from time to time. That works on that. That's why I really emphasize you guys to experiment with those brushes. Okay. Okay, for you guys who don't have any tablet yet, just use mouse to work on that first, right? Okay. Just use your mouse to work on that first, okay? Texture brushes, it will help you guys a lot. It helped me a lot when I produced this kind of illustrations there. Even though I'm using a children's book illustrations like this one, okay, I'm still using those texture brushes that to work on it. Okay? I use a lot of texture brushes there, okay, to work on that. So I mix them around, combine them, playing around, okay, to make those compositions look a bit more complex, but basically it's not. All right, using very simple kind of illustration and drawings, but look complex because of those textures kind of brushes there. Okay, that's the thing. All right, guys, that's the point of working with those kind of make those understanding on those kind of compositions there. The same goes to this one there, okay? The concept of these illustrations and character design that I made, the backgrounds that I create basically using those kind of texture brushes, look like a messy kind of what we call the paint kind of styles, but still look complex, and also there has a mixture of those depth of field by using the right kind of combination of colors there. Okay, we work smart there, guys. Okay, try to work smart at the stage there. So I will share with you guys those kind of tips and tricks how actually way to work on that. The same goes to this character design that I made. Okay, all right, the background itself there, right? Okay, so using a lot of texture brushes, lasso, and a bit kind of creativities there and skills there to develop the shapes. Manipulate those shapes will give you a lot of engagements and understanding and unique way to approach your works. Okay, all right, any questions? You try to use mouse if you don't have the tablet yet. Okay, and find the subject matters when you want to draw. Don't just draw something from your imaginations. Okay, so see you guys on our sessions on Monday later on. I'm going to update basically some of the particular the kind of what we call that informations and also guideline, okay, on our lessons there, right? Okay, in our Google Classroom, please basically take a look there, okay, from time to time. Right, okay, some of the assessment sheets there, right? Okay, that I'm going to share with you guys later on. All right, okay, the new one. Okay, some rubric there, right? Okay, and of course, okay, some of those plan there, okay, of those assignments that are going to be include also, okay, in our classroom there, okay. So thank you very much for having me today. Thank you for your participation there, guys. Good luck. Take care of yourself there, right? I'll see you guys on Monday sessions later on. And have a good day on working on your exercise, having fun, work on that, and enjoy yourself. All right. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Take care there, right? Welcome there, right? Okay. Good luck, guys. Okay. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome there, right? Okay. Thank you very much, Yang, for your contribution just now there, right?